in the box.
Oh, you need an alarm.
What?
Alarm.
I already got it.
Oh,
Why was
it?
yeah.
Did you send it?
Yeah, it's starting. It's rolling. We're live from Hailey's balcony.
Woo!
Somewhere in Wisconsin. Mwahaha.
You don't get to know.
No, not today. Hi.
Hi.
How are you?
Good. How are you? How was your week?
Really fun. It's been fun. It's been a good couple weeks.
What happened?
Well, the universe has rewarded me hard.
That's good. It's about time.
It is, right? So not, well, excuse me. So not this Friday, the Friday before. I, was feeling kind of run down and my throat was real scratchy. So I canceled gym. And I was like, I'm just not feeling good. I don't want to push it. And she said, fine. And we rescheduled. And then I sat at home and I was like, I'm just going to rest today. Because I'm going to take care of myself, right? So then I was scrolling through TikTok, resting. And a lady was explaining how she braids in her own dreadlocks. And I have my woolies. And I usually go to the salon to get them braided in when I'm feeling that way. And I was like, yeah, today I'm going to tackle that. I'm going to set up in the living room and we're
going to figure it out.
I'm going to figure it out because I was like, I know how to French braid. I know how to Dutch braid. And she said something about a ladder braid. And I was like, I could figure that out. It can't be that hard. And it really wasn't. And I went to beauty school, so I know how to section hair. So I was like, I got this. I just put up a mirror and I sat on the floor and I put on a movie and I rested and I treated myself to a nice hair day. So then what happened? Oh, so then I've been saving up for a new tattoo, right? A little treat for myself. And I finally had the money saved up, so I messaged him. By the way, look. Oh, you gotta pull up my sleeve a little because it's part. It's healing beautifully. Yes. Anyway, so I messaged him when I got to work on. No. I messaged him at some point on Saturday. And I was just like, oh yeah, because I was busing that day. I had to go to work and I had to bus tables. And I was like, girl, I need number. And she gave me number or name for person on Facebook. And I messaged them and I reached out. And I said, hey, you quoted me like a couple weeks back. I finally have my funds saved up. Can I get on your books? And then I waited. And I woke up on Sunday morning and I had two messages from him. And the first was just like, oh, hey, my books are out until, because he only does weekends. So he's like, my books are out in December, November, December time. And I was like, all right, cool. That's not a big deal. And then the next one was just like, actually, I had a cancellation for today. If you have time. And I was like, dude, I work until 3. But if we can do the evening, I was like, I will talk to my husband and I will see if I have childcare. And that was at 5:30 in the morning. So I waited patiently until Kevin woke up and I said, hi babe, I love you. Can you watch the kid tonight?
Patiently.
Patiently, I did. I sat on I didn't go upstairs and wake him. I waited. So anyways, so the universe, I felt, rewarded me for taking care of myself. And for not impulsively deciding I want to get a tattoo. I saved up for it. And I got treated on Sunday night with my new tattoo. Bomb. So then.
I got new fake tattoos that you can't see anymore because they rubbed off.
Nice. I see the moon.
Yeah.
We match.
The other one was one that I'm going to get anyway. Just not this version of it.
You'll have to show me.
It's magic.
Oh.
It's the star. Not
the
the star.
Pentagram?
Yeah. No, not the pentagram. The double. I have to show it to you.
Yeah. Anyways. So that happened. And then we had Kevin fell in love with a dog also last week Friday, who his coworker was fostering.
So you're gonna get a dog?
I know. So we waited couple days to talk it over, right? And Sunday night we ended up sitting down talking about it, going through the paperwork for the adoption. It took an hour and a half for us to fill that out. And then 10 minutes after we sent it, we got a response saying he was adopted.
No.
So
That sucks.
it happens. But then
What
we're
kind of
just
dog?
it was a black mouth cur. They're really good family dogs, really awesome like temperament and breed. And they're big, and that's my thing. I like big dogs, ones that I can run with, and like, you're gonna protect me type thing. We're gonna roll. So I was really excited about that, but then and then they're just like, oh well, do you want to look at any of the siblings? And we're like, no. It was completely impulsive and whim that we were gonna do this, and the adoption fee, like, totally understand where it comes from and why, but it was really steep, like $400 that we didn't really have. So my solution?
Just get a fake one. Just get a fake dog.
It's gotta be a secret because Wednesday and little ears are inside. But I found a really cute kitty that's 12 weeks old. It's a rag doll, like my precious was, and that's the only reason I leapt for it. But I was scrolling through Facebook last night, and Manawa, a post popped up for kittens, and they were a bunch of rag dolls,
So you
saying
let
they were
her
barn
name it?
cat. No, me and Kevin kind of like picked 2 solid ones already. We sat last night debating that, and that was really fun and interesting. Because I had like 5 solid ones that I just kept reverting back to, and then one solid one I really wanted was one of, like, he had an animal already named that, and I didn't do it once, but I went over it a second time, and he's like, really, Hailey? And I'm like,
it was one of those communications of, I
hear you.
I hear you, and I understand where you're coming from, but are you sure?
But are you sure that we can't? And then he'd like list off a name that I've already had, or like is a family member, or like a family member's dog, and I'm just like, yeah, no, we can't do that. I get it. Okay, fine. So we boiled it down to 2. So I don't know if we're gonna like have her choose after that, but it's gonna be really exciting because Wednesday I'm gonna wake her up and we're gonna get breakfast, and then we're on the fly. So we gotta drive all the way to there and then get back. Oh, this is gonna be exciting. So it's been a really good week.
That's
Weeks.
It's good.
It's been fun.
Sounds nice.
Yeah. Yeah. And I got coffee. Work was kind of slow, but it was alright. It was fun. The girls call me in now so I can braid their hair before my shift. It's like a now every Sunday thing.
That's nice.
Yeah.
It's nice to have that. Like,
It is.
Just like that time. I was like, this is fun.
Yeah. Well, one of the girls messaged me today. She's like, Hailey. She's like, your services are needed. And I was like, are we busy or do we need hair services? And they're like, we want our hair done. And I was like, okay, I'm coming. It works. It's fun. So how are you this week?
Good.
Good?
I'm yes, good. It was a fun week. We did things. We went to the haunted house last Saturday, which was a lot of fun because I didn't get to go. Cheryl took them last year, and I didn't get to go because they didn't let me have off from work. And so, like, I actually got to go with them, and that was a lot of fun because haunted houses are fun. But so that was nice, and I haven't got to go to that haunted house with Cheryl ever, like, since we've been together.
What one did you
Cheryl
go
on the
to?
Fox.
Oh. Dude, I haven't been there since we were teens.
Yeah, me neither. So, but it was fun. It was a lot of fun.
We did 2 pumpkin patches in the last 2 Saturdays too. Just side note. Got reminded to throw it in there.
And Emma's boyfriend went.
Yeah. Ooh.
Who's super like scaredy fraidy cat, and like the whole time, like even before we even got there, was like having a panic attack. Not literally, but like, well, what if this happens? Well, what if this happens? Well, is it gonna be that scary? Well, how scary is it?
Terror on the Fox. They have the woods, right?
Yeah, in the train.
Yeah.
In the house.
Yeah.
So, funny story. I told this on the last one, but I'm gonna tell it anyway because it's super funny. So the whole time, like, he's freaking out, right? The girls have already been through it.
Yeah.
So Emma keeps telling him, like, it's not even that bad. It's not that big a deal. Like, don't worry about it. They can't touch you. Like, they can't do anything. So you just got to make it through. Plus, they have the breaks in between the 3 sections.
Yeah.
She's like, so you just got to keep moving. It's not that big a deal. It's not as bad as you're making it out to be in your head. So we get through the first 2 sections, and like, we have to keep being like, they can't touch you. It's fine. Don't worry about it. And like, obviously, there's like the actors that are like walking around like jump scaring,
yeah,
with the things or whatever. But we keep telling, we're like, they can't touch you. It's fine. Like, as long as you just keep moving, you're fine.
Mhm.
So at the end, the very end of the house, which is the last part of the whole thing, at the very end, there's a spot that's just straight strobe lights. So you can't really see.
Mhm.
The year prior, the actress that's in there, that's her whole, that's their final, like, scare, is that once you get into the room, she follows you.
Okay.
And so, like you can't,
stalks you?
yeah, so you can't really see her because of the strobe lights.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
can't
yeah.
really see anything. But then, like, she does, like, jump scares or whatever. So, the year prior, when the girls and Cheryl went, the actress or whatever scared the shit out of Emma because she was in the back.
Mhm.
And so, Cheryl had said, she's like, I won't leave you this time. Because that's what happened the last time, was that she went up, and then she's like, so, but Cheryl's in the front of our whole group. Right? And so, like, so Alice is, like, pulling my arm because she's behind me. And I'm holding on to Cheryl because that way I can navigate because Alice is fucking holding my shit. And so we get to that, and it's maybe, like, 5 seconds into this room. Which, like I said, it's strobe lights, so you can't really see anything.
Yeah.
And then Cheryl's gone. Like, I'm holding on to her. She grabs my hand, and then I don't know where I can't see where she went, but she's not in front of me anymore. Slim Thug is the boss of the South. Anyway, but
Oh, that's balmy.
it's like one of my favorite Paul Wall songs. Anyway, that's the point. So anyway, so she leaves, and I'm like trying to I'm like trying to run forward to like find the people in front of us because I can't see anything.
Mhm.
And I can't really like navigate because Alice is like pulling my arm behind me, like trying to stay with me. But like anyway, but Cheryl's gone. I don't know where she went.
She just dipped.
And so all of a sudden I hear Emma's boyfriend be like, "What the fuck? Somebody's touching me! They're touching me! Oh my god, they're touching me!" And then Cheryl goes, "It's me." So we get out and whatever. And so Cheryl was telling me this after that her whole point was that she didn't want to leave Emma, but she didn't know Emma switched with her boyfriend. And so she came up behind the end person, which she thought was Emma, and grabbed his sides, which was him.
Spooked to the boyfriend instead.
Yeah, so he freaked out because we were telling him the whole time that they can't touch you.
And someone
And so
touched
he
them.
thought that was...
That's
It was so funny. It was so funny. But yeah, so that was fun. That was a lot of fun. I'm really glad I got to do that with them, finally. Because I haven't been able to go to a haunted house with them ever. So that was really nice. And then we did the podcast about Ozzy, which that was cool. I told you I was going to talk about that. Because that was cool because, like, I know that it's because of the topic. I know it's because it's Ozzy and it's recent and whatever. And so, like, it was going to get traction either way.
Mhm.
But I thought it was really cool that I just posted the reel the day before I posted the actual like full episode, and I posted the reel of me talking about the VMA performance or whatever,
Mhm.
because it was, I said it long version in the podcast, in the actual podcast, but I just didn't realize, and me and Cheryl had talked about talking about Ozzy since it happened.
Mhm.
Like, we've just been like kind of waiting. But then like I like sobbed watching that performance. And I didn't really understand. I said it in the podcast. I was like, I didn't really understand like that Ozzy even meant anything to me until like that happened, and I was like, oh shit, like that's nuts. Like, that's just crazy, because it was just, like, Ozzy just was always, like, and I think that's kind of why, and that's kind of what I said, is that I think that's kind of why it hit different, is because it was kind of just a subtleness of, like, Ozzy's always there.
Yeah, he's
like,
a constant in our,
yeah.
in our
And you
generation.
kind of don't understand, like, how impactful and how many parts of your, like, life, like, it's threaded into, until you're like, oh, that's never going to happen again.
Yeah.
Anyway, and so like I posted that short clip or whatever, and I had like 3 people comment on it, which was kind of cool. It was kind of, I don't know, it was, I've been doing this 3.5 years now, and not one person besides like my dad, like has commented on it, on anything. But these were like people that like weren't subscribed to the channel.
Right on.
And they just like there was one that was like telling their story of like my brother got me into Ozzy and this and what, that was kind of cool. And then there was another one that was just like, what song are you referencing on this? But it was that their
It was
final
new connection.
sub, yeah,
New
and it
connections.
hyped me up. Like I like it. I like looking at things like with the podcast or whatever. Like the video of me and you when it hit 2,000. I was jazzed about it. I was like, this is fucking cool. Like, and it's so it's not, but it's so insignificant because like there are videos that like get millions and millions, and like podcasts specifically that have like 1 million subscribers and so shit. So it's really not that big a deal. But it's just like shit like that.
But in your journey,
yeah, but
up
yeah,
to this point, like
yeah,
you've
but
been
in,
working
like,
hard for 3 years, and you
Yeah.
finally got like 2 or 3 comments, like on a reel. So
yeah,
that's
that so when the video of me and you when that short hit 8,000, I was like, oh, this is fucking awesome. Like this is so fucking cool. And so anyways, like, and that podcast itself is the highest podcast that we've ever had.
Yeah.
It's like at 80. But so like the last 2 that have come out after that have been like kind of back to normal.
Yeah.
Like 10 to like 15, whatever.
the hype is gone.
But then, but yeah. So then, like, so I was like, okay, whatever. Because it's just because I said this from the beginning. I never got into this to really like become famous or to be a big deal. It's just
Right.
a lot of fun for me. It's just a normal fun thing for me. But yeah, but when there was actual comments, I was like, oh, that's fucking cool. Like that's so
You
cool.
see this smile
That's
right
so
here?
cool.
If we could
Yeah.
get like more of the smiles, it's all from you
So-
guys. So you guys got to do your part and like and subscribe and comment and
Like,
leave
and
us stuff.
subscribe.
Let us communicate with you.
So that was
If
pretty,
that made any sense.
that was pretty cool.
Yeah,
That was a lot of fun.
that was hype.
And then it just got me real, like, I do this for the last 3 years. I do this every year where I get into a like lull with
Mhm.
this, and I get to like I can skip it, like, you know what I mean, like,
Yeah.
I can skip a week, and then it's like, well, I'm super busy, so I can't do this one, and then like they'll get points to where there'll be huge gaps,
Mhm.
to where like I'll be consistent like I have been the last couple months of like every week or whatever, and then there'll be huge gaps. And so like I always, every time I switch a season, I'm like, I'm gonna be more consistent about it. I'm gonna do it this time. It's gonna be more consistent because I understand the algorithm. I understand if you're not consistent, you're starting all over.
Yeah.
Like once you get it up here, if you stop, then you have to start all the way over and do it all over again. And so like so I've been really like on myself of like I want to keep doing this and keep getting this, and like every week make time to do it. But then like when I saw those comments, it got me like so jazzed that I was like, I have time because the girls have off Thursday and Friday for
Mhm.
Halloween. I was like, they don't have to do anything. I don't have to take them to school.
No.
So like I can do like 4 podcasts in just that one day and get that out of the way.
So you
And
have
then like
backup lined up.
yeah.
There you go.
Yeah. So I was talking to Cheryl about, I don't know. Maybe I might.
You guys are gonna be talked out. You do 4
but I
in a
was-
row.
No, not just me and her.
Oh, okay.
No, I meant like taking that time because like also.
Or just like editing a whole bunch of other ones.
No. Like actually going and doing them because like logistically that's the hard part for me. Is like because the girls like have friends and boyfriends and have all this other stuff that they. Oh, you did move it. I was gonna take your thingy.
Nope, I already did.
Anyway, but because like the girls have it and like Cheryl's been working more and like just logistically it's a lot harder to like have time and drive places and like go unless I have people come over to the house all the time,
Yeah.
which I understand is like not that people won't do it, but getting somebody to come to you is a lot harder than you going to them.
Oh yeah. Especially if you're already throwing them in front of a camera.
Yeah. And so
Situation.
so because like we don't have anything, like Cheryl just has to work in the morning, but because we don't have anything Thursday and Friday, I was like, I can logistically go, which I'm probably going to, at least with my parents, because I wanted to do one with my dad and my mom separately. And I'll have time to do that. But I was going to try to do one with Cheryl maybe, and then that'll give me a couple.
That's 3. Yeah. Cool.
But yeah, I was
That's
just
exciting.
super jazzed about it. I was like,
Opie is off those days too.
do this. So yeah, that was a lot of fun. Plus, like, I don't know, I'm enjoying. I know we're gonna spend all this time talking about like just this, but I'm enjoying
God, you talk too much.
being able. I know, I say it almost every time. I say it almost every time that I do a podcast.
No, it's good.
But I'm enjoying watching my son figure things out.
Yeah.
On his own. That's fun for me.
So school with him's been going good?
It's been going, yes. It's been going good. As a parent, it's been just minor things have been frustrating. Which I'm trying not to let bother me that much. I'm trying to just be like, yeah, it's school. They have to like say things like that or whatever. But I don't know. I on the other hand, they've been really good. Like when he had his like evaluation to like get in or whatever.
Yeah.
The school psychologist was like, I don't think he's ready. I think you should keep him at home for another year or like put him in some programs that during the summers or whatever so that he has more socialization with like they told us pretty much that like he wasn't ready to go to 4K. And his teacher, which still has been super cool, but his teacher even during that was like, you know, you can still have him go or whatever, but there's just, you know, that's all they're saying is that there might be things that because he hasn't been around kids or whatever that he's gonna have difficulty with if you have him start now or whatever.
Yeah.
But for me, I was like, he's like, I know that I'm partial because he's my kid, but I've been around a lot of kids his age. I've seen like all of my nephews, and I was like, he's smarts wise far beyond his age.
Yeah.
So I was like, I'm not really fucking worried about that. Plus, he's in 4K. They're kids. I don't really fucking care.
Like they're there to learn socialization anyways.
So I was really worried about that. But then, like as like he's been going, he's been doing really good, and his teachers have been really like, at least from what I see. I don't know because I'm not there, but at least from what I see, have been really helpful. Like not just like. Not pushing like, well, you need to tell him, you need to work on him sitting still, you need to work on him listening, you need to work on
there's
this.
None of that.
But like, very, I don't know, very helpful, very understanding, which is really nice. Yeah. The only thing that kind of bothered me, but I was like, but again, going back to like, I understand schools have to do this, so I kind of took it with a grain of salt, but they did a speech evaluation. Yesterday, the day before, one of those, and his teacher messaged me and Cheryl and was like, so the speech person or whatever said that he might need some work, so do you want me to send like a referral so that you guys could, you know, have set him up with like a speech class or whatever? And I was like, no. And I told Cheryl, I was like, I get it. Like they have to, but like his speech isn't that bad.
Like what are they saying is wrong with it?
Just that he can't enunciate. That he doesn't enunciate more than like most kids. Like he'll kind of mumble speak words instead of like enunciating like
the full word.
Bag.
Yeah.
Kind of just like stuff like that. But I was like, he's 4. Like. The fact that he can have full sentences, it can tell you what he wants. Like, leave him alone. So, it's just, like I said, it's just minor things that I'm learning to let go and that not to take personal, but he's like making friends. Everybody, all the kids, like when they leave, say goodbye to him personally. Like, bye Wyatt, like personal. So like, I don't know. So I'm focusing on that more so because like going from, you know, being home with us all the time and not really like being around other kids, not really.
Right.
To like being able to socialize and not being that kid that like punches another kid because they took their toys or like stuff like that. Like the fact that he's super, and that's what all of his teachers say, is that he's like the sweetest kid that like they've ever met. And I told Cheryl, I was like, that's really what I'm focused on. Yeah. I'm not really focused on like, we can focus on grades and stuff like that when he's like in school, but for right now, like I'm really just focused on like I want to preserve that as much as possible.
For sure. Speaking of like laying hands on people, I rolled up to my house and across the street there were 3 little kids, like 8 to 10 years old, but they were short little shits. Anyways, like I'm like a block away. I didn't, but 2 of them started going at it, and I'm like, the fuck? Did I just see what I saw? And sure enough, I did. And I pull into my driveway, and it's right across the street from where they're like duking it out, so they instantly stop. And they're all playing nice with each other, and I seriously just like glare them down. And then I walk in my house, and Kevin's like, what's up? Because I just sit at the door, and I'm just like, they're going to start duking it out again. Like, they're just waiting for me to go inside. And then, like, at that point, what do you do? Because they're fucking neighbor kids. But I've never seen them, like, at those 2 houses, I'm pretty sure, are older couples. So it's like, it's not them. And I'm just like, so what do I do? Do I just sit here until one of them's bloody? And I'm me, so I'm just like, no, ain't no one fighting unless I see, like, it's all consensual and you guys are good, but y'all look like you're angry and throwing fists? I'm like, no. And, like, I'm watching for a little bit, and sure enough, they start pecking at each other again, and Kevin's like, well, I remember being in the neighborhood and just fighting with the kids, and I was like, yeah, I get it, but to what point? Like, they're going hard at each other's faces, like, full fist swinging. So I finally opened the door, and I'm like, kids, go home.
Yeah.
Find your own place to duke it out. Don't be duking it out across my street. Like, the fuck? But I never thought that would be a thing I'd come home to. Like, and not for the age they were. Sure, like, high school kids fucking around, that'd be a different story. But, like, it was just hilarious. And they all got on their bikes and, like, took off down the block. I'm like, yeah, exactly. I'm pretty sure you guys were the same kids who were up the block over by the church getting talked to by the cops, like, 2 weeks ago. Stop it. What's wrong with you being kids? Just being kids. But be nice about it. Damn. So that's my rant.
So I messaged you that I was going to... How much time do we have?
I don't know. Enough.
Alright. So I was going to...
51 minutes.
Good.
Because I gave us an extra 5 on it.
So I was going to talk to you about... I feel like it's I've said this about my parents, and I've learned over the years to be this way. Mainly because I've made a shift in myself a long time ago. Of just like me and you have talked about energy transfer. And just that I was holding so much energy that nobody but me. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I was holding a lot of resentments and a lot of things that I didn't need to. So I made it a point a while ago of like, I'm not going to hold on to shit. And so I've talked to my parents a lot about like, you know, stuff when we were growing up and stuff, and like recognizing it now being a parent and recognizing like, hey, I understand you guys were doing your best, and I give my parents a lot of credit in that. But there were certain things that like, that affected me a certain way. You know what I mean? And that's not, I'm not saying you're a horrible parent or that I turned out shitty. It's just like,
no, but these are my things that I carry because of you.
Yeah. And so like, I was thinking about it the other day that I don't feel like we personally and as a collective society give parents grace. Like, we just look, especially like kids will fucking murder your self-confidence as a parent. But but they'll tell you, like I did to my parents. They'll be like, "This fucked me up," and you take it personal. And I've learned to not only give them a lot of grace, but give myself a lot of grace in times like that.
You were given the help too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So I wanted to talk to you about that. About how is.
This was not what we were messaging about yesterday.
Sorry.
This is the left field.
No, it is kind of, but giving yourself grace as far as like parenting and like we make decisions and we're like we take from our own childhood and are like, okay, I don't want this.
Yeah.
So like I'm gonna treat my kid this way, or I'm gonna do these things, or like when this happens, I'm gonna react this way. We all have an idealistic
reactions
thought
and
process.
The expectations
We all
of
have
how we want a parent.
Yeah, we all have an idealistic mindset before you have kids.
Yeah.
Of like, I'm never gonna do this. And then like life happens and you have a kid and you react certain ways and you do things. And like a lot of people get down on themselves about that. Of like, man, I told myself.
This is where the failure comes in.
Yeah.
Okay. I know you're linking it back. Yeah. Where's it going?
Sorry.
But I got it now.
But yeah. But like we go, man, I said I wasn't gonna like yell at my kids, and here I am like yelling at my kids. I said to myself when I have kids, I'm not gonna do this, and we do. And I feel like as parents we hold on to that instead of giving ourselves grace.
Absolutely.
And we see it as a failure of like, oh, I'm turning into a shitty parent because I'm not holding these things that I said I wouldn't do.
Mm-hmm.
And it's one thing that like I've learned to do, and I tell people that you have to give yourself a lot of grace because you are going to feel like a failure all the time. All the time, yeah. So I was going to ask you. Sorry, that was long-winded.
It's okay. It's the lead-in, you guys. That's the lead-in to our conversation.
So I was going to ask you: have there been times that's happened, and how did you handle that personally and like with your kid?
Okay.
Of like feeling like you failed in some way.
Yeah. That's been a strong feeling I've challenged myself with for 5 years now. And I'm just like starting to see like the light at the end of the tunnel where I'm starting to give myself more grace and finding different tools that help me. I react in anger when I'm overstimulated, when I am hurt emotionally, when just I'm not in, like, if I'm hyper focused on something, and that tends to happen because I get in my world sometimes, and then like everyone trying to get at me, or like someone needing something in that instant, like I'm like, my anger is the first thing that comes out, and it's more of like boundaries being crossed, or like my nervous system saying, hey, people are fucking with you and you're not safe, and my first reaction is to like fuck off and don't mess with me, and I'm gonna get loud. And I've struggled with, hey baby,
I can't open the door.
Oh, I'll be right there, one moment.
I got it.
Oh, okay. So it's like, that's something I really struggled with. And when Opie was like walking age, there was a time where just different instances where like reactions in me were straight out of my childhood, and I was like, and for the longest time I seen her as me, which really didn't help. It's like every time I would get loud and react, it was like I know exactly how she's feeling, and like
because you've been there.
Yeah, and it was just like I'm like time traveling. And it's just like, but that wasn't me. But then in that moment, it's just like, I don't know how to pause and breathe and be like, oh shit, like what does she actually need in this moment? Where now, 5 years later, I'm slowly grasping that concept. It's a slow process. It's a work. But like in that, I've also been reflecting on like that turmoil of my parents and their healing journeys or unhealing journeys, and evolving as their parenthood, and like some of the things that line up, it makes sense. My parents, the stress.
Hey Mom.
Yeah, baby.
Do you mind if you help me zip up?
Stay over there. So then, like, having a better understanding in that, but then a lot of my shit and a lot of my inner child is just like, well, if I'm sitting here doing that inner healing, why couldn't you guys do that for us as kids? Like, that's my biggest struggle, is trying to wrap my head around that, but it's not my job to understand that, because I feel my parents are still very much, well, my dad for sure never did his healing process. He just lived in survival until he died. Yeah, I do that all the time. So yeah, what happens when all that shit happens? I'm a reactor. So then I don't give myself grace either. I will physically shut down. And Zach knows, he's seen, I will abuse myself mentally and just cut myself off, disassociate, stop connecting, because I feel I'm the problem. And especially when it comes to my child, who is taking the brunt of this, it was such a big hurdle for me to wrap my head around, like, because now I'm to the point where it's just human nature. Like, that cycle of parents fucking up their kids is always going to happen in one way or another, because no one is perfect in any way. We're meant to be on this world to experience life, and it's going to be imperfect. And it's the imperfections and the lessons and the choosings that you do with those that bring you closer to peace and understanding and kindness and love. So, like, I lost my train of thought. Where was I going with that? So yeah, I'm finding more grace in myself, but like straight depression, it would put me into like disassociating, cutting off, where now I'm to the point where I'm like, I know I'm gonna fuck her up. And a lot of my, like, it's situational, because she's a girl and she's young and she's energetic and she's wild. And I was very much that way, but I was always told I couldn't be that way. Like, why are you so loud? Why are you so, like, there's, especially in high school and the people I hung out with, because we were all stoners, and I was loud and paranoid, and no one liked that.
And that's not fun for stoners?
It's not. Are you dead?
I don't know.
Are you not working?
Oh, it wasn't working. Keep talking though. I'll figure it out.
We're just not going to have audio for this full thing. That's how the universe works.
That's fine.
So coming to that reality that we're all fucking up our kids regardless, I'm kind of giving myself more grace, and it's boiling down to, like, control. I see her being herself, but she's not tackling the task. Your energy on moving your teeth instead of singing or humming or, like, doing all this. So I get really bent out of shape about that stuff, and I'm finding if I just, like, set her up with, hey, we're in care mode in the morning.
What are we doing today?
Like, you're gonna go upstairs, it's after breakfast, you're gonna do your cares, you're gonna get dressed, you're gonna brush your hair, you're gonna brush your teeth, and I leave her to do it. And then I just do my thing. And if she comes down, I give a reminder, hey, it looks like your hair's not done, you gotta go back up. And then, like, this last week, Tuesday or whatever, we, like, Tuesdays and Thursdays I work at 7:30, so we have to be ready at 7, and she's usually not up till 6:30ish. So it's like a half hour to get her ready, and I left her to do it for herself, and I just went up there and I'm like, all honestly, grandma's in the driveway, what don't you have done? And I was like, okay, you're leaving without it being done, but you know, like, I'm trying to give her cause and effect. So, like, if you're not going to brush your teeth, we're going to pay lots of money in dentist visits later, and you're not going to like the dentist because the amount of work he's going to do on your teeth. You don't take care of your teeth, you have to go to the dentist. You don't brush your hair, you're going to have nasty knots. You're going to hate mom when she actually brushes it, and it hurts. And you have a sensitive scalp, so brushing your hair sucks anyways. So, you know, if you just take the time to brush it now, it'll be good for when you come home tonight and get ready for bed, and you can brush it again. Like, and now it's like at dinner time, I'm always trying to push her to eat more, and it's just like, no, I should let her listen to her body, or decide if she doesn't want it. But if she doesn't want it, I'm not making anything else. And like meal and snack time are at the regular time. So if she's choosing not to eat now and what I'm making, she's waiting until the next meal. And like for the longest time, I'm like, no, I can't do that since she's starving. But it's like, I don't want to sit there and cater. Like if we have another kid, then cater to 3 different meals in one thing. Like I did that last week, but it was all with pure good intention and to send it to others in need.
And also, they'll eventually figure it out.
Yeah.
Like I spent so much time with the girls. It works.
Okay.
I spent so much time with the girls early on of like, because Alice would never brush her hair and she has super thick hair.
Yeah.
So like 2 days and that shit's already in a mat. Like, and then because it's in a mat, it takes longer to fucking get out and shit. So then she would not want to do it because it was so bad. So there were times Emma's been relatively okay, but Alice especially, there were times that like we had to shave her head.
Yeah.
Because like there's no way that we were gonna get it out. And she eventually figured it out of like, I don't want to keep having my hair like shaved and shit. And so like that, but also to your point about like the eating thing.
Yeah.
And that goes to like everything I've thought about like with Wyatt is that like we're told because like that's how we were raised is like the clean your plate, like eat all your food. I made this for you, so you're gonna eat it sort of thing. Which I get it from a parent perspective that is frustrating when like you make because I've done it for Wyatt. Like he's been like, I want Dino Nuggets and I want a PB&J and I want this, and you make 4 different things and he doesn't eat any of them. Like I get that it's frustrating. So I get the concept, but like I was talking to Cheryl about this a couple months ago of like, but also like that just, in my opinion, that just perpetuates I have to eat, and it's unhealthy. It can turn into an unhealthy thing,
right?
Of like, well, I always have to clean my plate, so whether I'm stuffed or whatever, I have to keep eating,
right?
Which can turn into a problem later. Both vice versa, it could overeating and also like
not eating at all because like the end result was I'm always eating.
Yeah. And so I was thinking about this about like parenting, but I was thinking about this before I messaged you of like I appreciate, and I've said this to Cheryl, nobody gets it right. No parent gets it right. No parent 100% does everything right and like doesn't fuck up their kid in some way or another. But I appreciate looking back on it, and I think it's something that like it helped me kind of objectively looking back on it of like if you look back on parenting styles throughout generations, like we finally like our generations, and I'm sure like the kids' generations when it gets to them being parents, they'll be better because they've seen the progression. But it helped me because I looked back on the parenting styles and how now with us, like with our generation, we got to a point where we're like, we're not, I don't know how to word that. We don't need perfect kids in society. Like we just want them to be happy.
Right. We want them to be kids.
Yeah. Whereas like, you went from a generation
seen and not heard.
Well, even before that, like would beat the shit out of their kids to keep them in line, and then like moved into a different generation that was like, well, we're not going to beat the shit out of our kids, but we're going to yell at them all the time because like you said, kids are seen, not heard.
Right.
And then our generation has kind of moved past that parenting style, and like you can be you, Like, we just want you
But
to be
have
you.
the emotional intelligence to vocalize.
But you need to figure out how to still move through this world. And
Yeah.
like I said, looking back on that, it kind of gives me, it makes it, when I started doing that, it made it easier for me to give myself grace in those moments of like, no, we're moving in the right direction. Like, we don't need to go, like, there are parents that say like, well, yeah, but my kid has manners and my kid never does this and my kid doesn't run around and doesn't do this and whatever because I sternly yelled at them, or even like,
But that's fear-based or
but that's
people
fear,
pleasing.
exactly, but that's fear
Like, they're
based. Are
doing
they
that
really,
out of
are they
please.
doing, yeah, are they doing it because they feel that way, or are they doing it because they don't want to get yelled at or beat when they get home? Whereas like our generation, I feel like, has moved towards a parenting of like, they still know those things, but they're doing it because they understand
Yeah.
why they're doing it,
Right.
and not just fear based of like,
because you're told.
yeah. And so that gave me that, when I went through that, that kind of put it in perspective to me of like, no, this is the right way. Like, this is the right way to go. And also looking back on my childhood, like, like I said, my childhood wasn't horrible, but there are looking back, there are things that like I wish were different. Like, I wish, and nothing against my parents, I've told them this, but like, there are things looking back that like I wish I would have had that as a parenting style. Like,
Yeah.
I had so much love for my parents, it was ridiculous. But there were times that, because of like their parenting styles and things that they grew up on, and they kind of took that and went, well, this sounds mean, but I don't mean it this way. But they were like, well, we're better, so that's good enough. Instead of like making more effort, if that makes sense. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I'm not beating the shit out of my kids, and I'm giving them love, so I'm better. So I can
that's
stop.
the
I
line.
can stop here because I wasn't like my parents. And so there are things that like I wish, look now that I'm doing with Wyatt, and like I'm seeing how that affects him or whatever. That I look back on my childhood and I'm like, that would have been really cool if like I had that.
Yeah.
Or like I had that, even social wise, of like, my parents were never like this, but I'm gonna use this as an example. But there are a lot of, because of who I am, and because like I have, I tell people this, I have a very hard split 50-50 feminine and masculine energy.
Yeah.
And I always have.
Yeah.
And so like there are times that like I'm more feminine than I am masculine.
Mm-hmm.
And because of like society wise, like as a boy, you're kind of pushed, and it's not on purpose. It's not most of the time, it's not in a vindictive way. It's just society wise, you're told boys should act like this.
Yeah.
Boys should dress this way. Boys should do this. And not that it was pushed on me as a kid, but just like I said, just as a society thing of like, boys don't do that. That's a girl color, or that's a girl thing, or whatever. That I wish it didn't take me to 25
to open up about it.
Yeah, for me to really like, no, this is me, and it's okay. And the things that I'm into or like or whatever is okay. And whereas like with Wyatt, like day one, I've always been like that. Like, whatever you want, like whatever you feel like is fun or whatever, like no like real boundaries other than like physical harm or like things like that. But like as far as like having his nails painted or wearing a dress or like liking certain colors or whatever, there's been really no boundaries with him. And I'm seeing that in him now that he's at school. And I just look back on my childhood and I'm like, man, my life could have been so much cooler if I just had
embraced that.
Yeah.
Or you had the support to embrace that.
Yeah. And he's like, even like, I'll give an example. Like, he wanted his nails painted for the first day of school. Because him, me, and his sisters do that every now and then because he thinks it's fun. But he wanted it, and one of the kids, he told me about it after school. One of the kids said something about it, like just as like that of like, boys don't have their nails painted, and his teacher told me that he was just like, but they're so pretty, like just like that, just like seeing because there's not that like
that
boundary
boundary
of that,
of men need to be hard.
Yeah, he still was like, but I like this. Like,
Yeah.
this is nice.
This is who I get to be.
Even with people like coming at him about it.
That's
And so like
awesome.
seeing stuff like that is like really cool.
Like circling back, I think the thing that's giving me the most grace now is like understanding that as a parent, even if you make mistakes, because you know we're all going to fuck it up sometime. It's the accountability and modeling what you want the like recovery process to look like. Yeah, you fucking spit shit at your kid.
Mm-hmm.
Am I gonna ignore that? Fuck no.
Mm-hmm.
Am I gonna own up to it and take a breath and calm down and circle back and be like, hey babe, like I'm really sorry I yelled. That wasn't like mommy trying to communicate with you. That's mommy's response system. And like try and break down the emotional intelligence so she knows like, okay, people can storm off and get shitty, and it's gonna happen. It happens. Like, it shouldn't happen at home, but it's bound to happen at home.
And taking responsibility.
Like, but she's owning up to it, and in that way, like I'm trying. I'm so hard trying to keep it like where I'm not lecturing anymore, and it's just I'm modeling what I want her to witness. Like
I said this about the girls because me and Cheryl had a talk about this a while ago, obviously, but like with the girls, we wanted, because communication is a big thing with me and Cheryl and always has been, and so we've kind of modeled that with the girls too, in the same way as you're explaining, of like, not that blow ups don't happen, but not only you as a parent taking responsibility, but also having that conversation of like, hey, I was shitty. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I'm not going to lecture you about, well, I'm sorry, but.
Yeah.
But like,
I hate the word
but still having that conversation of like, hey, I said this. I was angry. I'm sorry. How do you feel about that? And even if they're like, well, I felt like you were being shitty, not taking that super personal, but
right,
making
just
that
like,
conversation of like, yeah, I get that.
How can I do things differently next time?
And even to the point of, like I said, seeing it in real time with Wyatt, I've seen it in real time with the girls too, to where like now Emma's 16, going to be 17, and she's frustrated because because we've been doing that for so long, she has that emotional intelligence that now with her friends, or even like her friends, like relationships or whatever, she gets frustrated. She's like, why don't you just do this? Like, why does it have to be this big thing? Like,
I see that with my niece.
Yeah, like, why is this a thing? And so, like, seeing that, like I said, seeing that in real time of being like, okay, the same way with Wyatt, of like seeing that in real time and being like, okay, I am moving. Like, this is a positive direction. Yeah. And like I said, helps with that feeling of like, am I doing it right? Am I actually like being a good parent? Am I doing that? Yeah. Just seeing like those things kind of like puts it in perspective of like, okay, I may be shitty at a few things
at times, but it's like, yeah,
but this is moving in the right direction.
Yeah, I'm finding like the more I'm like modeling, or it's like I'm not lecturing for the shit I do myself. Like, if I have shit on the floor all downstairs, I certainly can't bitch at her for not cleaning up her toys. But it's like, okay, we're gonna take the 10 minutes, and we're gonna. Mom's overwhelmed right now with the living room. It looks like a hot mess. Let's clean it up. And then we both take the time to do it. And then that's teaching her community. And it was so hilarious. We went to Family Dollar the other day, and we bought her a couple new pairs of pajama sets. And she comes off to the register and starts talking to the cashier. And she mentions how she puts like the dishes out of the dishwasher away every day. Like, that's her routine. That's her community job. Because we're not looking at like chore wise and getting paid for it. Like, that's a whole different realm. But I'm figuring that out. But like, I want chores and like household tasks to be community. So like you're
helping the whole household.
You're helping the household. You're taking a mental load off mom. You're doing something for the house. Everyone eats. It shouldn't just be mom's job to clean up you know, and you know, I'm just asking you to put away. And then 2 days a week, dad does it for her. So anyway, she was talking about that, and I was like, okay, now Opie, you put the dishes away 5 days a week. Do you remember why you do that? And she was like, yeah, it's for my community. And the guy's like, I'm not like, I'm just curious, but do you mean like a shelter or a home? And I was just like, no. Our home, like our house is our community, but we all live there and that's our community space. So we're teaching her that chores are community work so she can take that out into the world. But it's just like there's a couple of people that I make meals for who don't cook at home. And it's like the other day I made our dinner, a full meal for one family and a full meal for another family, and by the end of our meal I had 3 meals. And she's like, what are we doing with all this? And I was like, well, tomorrow we're making deliveries, we're going to drop these off. And she's like, well, why do you do that? And I was like, because these people don't cook at home, they're always eating out or out of the frozen food section, and that's just like, it's a way to live, it's a way to survive, but if to bring someone a home cooked meal, like with all that love and intention in it, is just so heartwarming, and it fills people's souls, and that's what I want to model for her. So we did that last week, and that was really rewarding. But she's getting in the kitchen with me too, and it's like I'm finding less struggle with her in like breakfast time is because she knows how to make her hash browns and she knows how to make her eggs. So it's just like getting her in the kitchen to make breakfast. This is like, okay, what are we making today? Like, what are you choosing to help with? Like, and she's right there to help and loves it. So yeah, it's been good. It's like a complete 180 from a couple years ago, because every time I like get in that breakdown and depression and disassociation, it's like I'm a bad mom and I don't want to put that hurt into the world, and I have to just stop. And all that did was harm everyone, because you know me and my I'm gone and I'm in my brain and we're halfway up to space, and it's like I wouldn't communicate with Kevin about it. It's just like, shit's not good right now, I'm fine, but you know what fine means.
One, I'll tag onto your community thing, because I talked with somebody about this a couple weeks ago, that I feel like community is a big, I mean, I don't have a whole lot of it, but I feel like community is a big thing, even no matter how small or big it is.
Yeah.
Is because like, I hate the analogy of it takes a village to raise a child. I get it, but I hate it.
Yeah.
Because in my opinion, I've seen a lot of people use it as an excuse. As like, well, it takes a village to raise a kid, so I can drop my kid off at your house because I don't want to watch him anymore.
No.
Or you have to pick, you're gonna have to pick him up because I watch your kid this, and they use it as like,
you have to be the village to get the village.
But also on the same token, I understand the analogy where it came from, and the analogy itself came from
a village times.
A village times. So where, you know, I say this, back in the 90s, even early 2000s, we were allowed to go anywhere. We didn't have cell phones. We didn't have, like, everybody had a house phone. We had pay phones.
Okay, maybe like, you weren't allowed to go anywhere.
No, I'm saying we were. Like, we were allowed. Yeah.
Okay.
Like,
I heard weren't.
Yeah, like, my dad, I mean, when we got cell phones, my dad was really big on, like, let me know where you are.
Yeah.
Like, he would let us go, but, like, we had to be like, hey, I'm going to this person's house or whatever. But before I got a cell phone, which was like 14, we were allowed to go anywhere. And as long as you were home by the time, like, either the street lights came on or before dark.
Yeah. You were good.
Nobody asked any questions.
No one asked questions unless you were being brought home by the cops.
Because of that mentality of, like, people got to know their neighbors. People got to, like...
Everyone was so community back then.
We had... I've told this story many times. Before I moved up here, our street used to have block parties once a month. like because we lived at the top of a hill. So at the bottom of the hill, they would have block parties. They would shut down one street. Everybody would go down there. There'd be barbecue. Kids would be there, whatever, and all the parents and whatever. And so we used to do that. And so I grew up with that, and it was like that. Like you knew everybody's kids, like as kids, like the parents knew everybody's parent.
Yeah.
And if something happened, I saw it happen in real time, like twice when I was younger, where like a kid was missing or like nobody knew where they were, and it was like, okay, hold on, I'll go check or I'll go look.
Yeah.
And like
call the phone tree.
Yeah.
And everyone was around.
Yeah, and it was that. And that being it takes a village to raise a kid, that I firmly believe in. Because I think that having that tight community is a good idea.
Way back, way, many long moons ago, before societies, when it was tribal living, it was the whole tribe, and you had kids hanging out with the grandparents and learning just how to be a kid for 7 years. And even after that, it was just modeling what you did in the tribe, and they weren't alone. But now as a society, we're so like burnt out against each other, against the government, against the system.
I think that that's the trade-off, is that I feel like our generation, and I hope the next generation after us, our generation has moved towards that aspect of it.
Yeah.
But off of the people aspect of it.
Yeah.
Like if you understand what I'm saying.
Not
like
really.
the way we're raising our children is to be, nice to people.
Community-based.
Is to be community-based.
Yeah.
Is to find like that. But we have stepped away from having that community as far as like us. Our age, like our parents. Like we've stepped away from that side and just kind of been like, you need to find your community.
Yeah. But I mean, in the grand scheme of things, that's the real thing. Blood isn't thicker than water. I don't know the full thing because that's the only thing that sticks. But it's longer than that, and it means something. And it's just like, you're not meant to stick with your family always. And if you are, kudos to you. We're not meant to be single home. We should be out in our community. We moved in here, and I was seriously so excited. I was like, I'm going to buy all these cute little things and hang them on the doors and introduce ourselves to our neighborhood. And I instantly got shut down because I didn't see anyone out. And we moved in August, so it's I didn't see anyone. The house next door is a B&B, so it's there's always random people coming in and out, not actual community for us. And we've said hi to a couple of people who walk their dogs in the neighborhood. And aside from the random youngins that are
having
fight clubbing in my front yard, it's just but my community, the community I'm in the town I live in, they actually have a committee, and they do a bunch of fun things. They're decorating one of the schools for Halloween, and they have mixers once a month, and they have weekend programs where play dates for the kids during the summertime. So I see where it could there's a point where I could open myself up and get involved with my community eventually, and that's promising. But yeah, it's just so hard because we have these little niches of people, but it's not unless you're full-blown committed, and there are only 2 people in this world right now that family-wise, or not family-wise, but friends, best friends, that community where I know I have that trust and that asking power where, hey, I need this from you. Will you show up for me? And you and Cora are my 2 ride or dies. You'll always be there. Fucking last Sunday, Cora came in for breakfast. I said, hey girl, I'm getting a tattoo at 4 o'clock. She said, send me the location. I'm like, all right, cool. Send her the location after work. Don't hear from her. I'm like, all right, bitch isn't showing up. She's not gonna show up. You know what? She walked in 4 minutes after 4 and she's like, I got you snacks, I got you water, I got you this, because I know you didn't pack it. And I'm like, bitch, I got my hummus. Like,
But I'll tag on to that though,
but
and
you got to
saying
be
like
willing to be the community.
but that's what I was gonna say is that like, and I mean I know that, which is why you said it to Opie, but I'm gonna say it anyway. But I know that that's true, and it's true for most of my friends. But like you said something to Opie either the last time I was there, before her birthday. It was before her birthday, but you were like, "This is mommy's best friend, and if you ever need anything, like just ask him. He will be there."
Yep.
And I told Cheryl it was one of those things of like that wasn't false. Like it wasn't like a hope. You know how like you say things sometimes, like in a hopeful way.
Yeah.
Of like, I hope this person.
I
Feels
hope
this
person trusts me enough with their kid and like wouldn't hesitate.
Yeah, but like on the day she was born, I honestly felt that way of like anything that kid ever needs, like done, no questions. And so like I said, you being, not you personally, but like you being that community or building it, or like with the idea of like this is okay for us to have like as a community. I think that also is important, and raising kids that they can see that they can see what like actual friendship means, that like it's not just this person comes over every now and then, and,
or like they hit you up every once in a while. And if you're sitting there in actual doubt of yourself and like, well, what the fuck, why does she say she's got these 2 ride or dies? Like, ask yourself, what are you doing? Are you sitting there waiting for these people to hit you up and be like, oh, hey, how's it going? Or are you like blowing them up with little nuggets that be like, hey, you know, this energy, I totally get you, got you. Or like, even if it's not like, it doesn't have to be all the time or every day, or like once a month, just be like, hey, I thought of you today. Like, what's going on in your life? Or, hey, do you need support in any way? How can I support you?
Yep.
Like, you're doing all these great things in your life. I haven't been around to hear about them. I'd like to hear more about it. Just show up. Like, instead of asking why people aren't there for me, ask yourself, what are you not doing for those people?
And that's and it's okay. And I've said this before, but it's okay if that isn't reciprocated.
Yeah.
Like if you're like reaching out to somebody and they don't reach out back to you, it's okay that they're not. It's okay to not.
Yeah, don't get hung up on it.
I would say this is harsh, but I would say it's okay to not have them in your life. You know what I mean? And not in like a mean way, not in like a fuck you didn't respond to me sort of way.
Yeah.
But it's okay that they don't want to be a part of that.
Right. Like,
and I think it's good for children to see that too. And it's kind of a mean comment, but I'm gonna say it anyway. But I think it's good for children to see that difference too.
Yeah.
Of like, I'm gonna use you as an example of like, my dad's friend Hailey shows up all the time, but my cousin doesn't.
Yeah.
Or that my aunt doesn't, or whatever the case is. I think it's good for them to, and that's sad. That's sad, but like, but to see real, like, to see what that really means. That it's not just like, well, my family is supposed to be like my best friend or like whatever. Like to see real, genuine care for other people, and that doesn't have to come from your family. Yeah. I think it's good for them to see that.
Well, or even just like community not working out. Like, you can go to bat for people and hang out and think it's all cool, but then you show up with your asks, or those times where you're just not 100% yourself, or the times where you're having those dark thoughts and you're not that you should be venting all of those to everyone else. But if you do reach out for someone and like they don't reciprocate the care that you need, it's okay to realize that that's not community and it's not your jam. If you're showing up in that energy space and it's more draining than it is like enjoyable.
Mhm.
Yeah, there's
Well-
a reason for that.
well, that's what I
It's
was-
not that connection.
That's what I was saying before about me making that decision of like that energy transfer and what I was giving people. Because I made that decision 10 years ago. There was a lot of people that I had around me that I just had around me because they'd been around me for X amount of time, or that they'd been there for me this one time or whatever.
Yeah.
And it was a parasitic relationship. I wasn't getting anything out of the relationship. I was giving and I was giving, and I always thought of it as a failure on my part if I let that relationship go.
Yeah.
And when I made that decision of like, no, selfish is such a bad word, but I'm gonna be selfish in this way of like,
Well, you do feel
I'm not gonna allow negative energy in my life anymore. And I don't, for the most part. But also, I think showing your kids that that's okay. In the same way as like idealistically, everybody that's been in an abusive relationship when they have kids doesn't want their kid to be in an abusive relationship.
No.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like we tell our kids constantly, especially if you've been in an abusive relationship, look out for these warning signs. Don't accept this. If they're treating you this way, don't think it's okay. Don't believe this.
Like have
But then when
boundaries
it
and
comes-
self-worth.
But then when it comes to friends or family, most parents
Model that it's okay
don't
because it's
that
family
that it's
and
okay
familial,
for people
and that's
to
not
treat you this
cool.
way. And I think when you as a parent have that of like, no, I'm gonna
The self-worth
I
and
wouldn't
the
say
value.
I wouldn't say guarded necessarily, but like
you don't even have to. You just have to love yourself
like,
enough not to put up with that.
yeah, but this is unacceptable is what I was getting
Yeah.
at. That your kids can see you have that boundary of like, I'm not going to accept
Yeah.
this in my life. I think them growing up, no matter who it is, whether that's friends or family or whatever, and them seeing that, I think sets a precedent in them to where they recognize it a lot sooner. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Like if you have, for example, like if your kid grows up in a household where you have great communication, you have great love, you and your spouse like almost never fight. When you do, there's clear reconcile in front of them, not like we're gonna go to the room and then we're gonna come out and we're gonna be
Duke it
all
out
happy
and be fine.
Yeah. But they see it in real time of like mom and dad talked about this and it was resolved and whatever.
Yeah.
When they grow up, they're not going to accept a relationship less than that.
Oh, absolutely.
And I've seen it with the girls in real time that like things will happen and they'll be like, I'm not doing this.
Yeah.
And so like, anyway, tie it back to what I was saying in the first place though, is that like, I think having those moments and realizing them in real time instead of later helps with parenting in a way of like, even in shitty moments, even when you're down yourself and even when you're like, it could be something so simple. Even when you're like super depressed of like, I don't know if I'm a good parent or not. I don't know if I'm doing this right. Like, this doesn't look like it's going anywhere. And then you see like certain things like that, like minor things.
Yeah.
And you're like, okay, I'm moving. And I've learned to look for those and into those a lot more than focusing on the negative stuff.
That's fair.
It's helped overall.
It's helped.
Yeah.
There's a book.
So like I told
read.
you, I think you should focus more.
I know, and I'm working on it. I read a book that really is insightful and helping. I read a lot of like parenting kids books when I'm triggered, because like that's my way to rationalize. It's not to work on my inner feelings. It's to figure out how to fix the problem so it doesn't happen again. And that's how I've always been. So I read a book on anger management for parenting and kids, and I'd have to look through my phone to find it. But it was really good, and it helps you like work through the reflection process of it. And that really stuck with me. So I know when I'm getting in that dysregulation, if I don't catch myself before I respond, I'll sit down and I'll make a note in a thread and I'll go through like where the occurrence happened, what caused it, what I was doing in the moment, who was a part of the instance. Like, it's basically an incident report, but it helps you. And it was like, is another funny like side story, but like Kevin and me were talking the other day, and I got defensive about something, and then he got defensive about something, and then later we came back and he's like, well, I couldn't tell from your mood. And it was just like, well, like, you said you brought home dessert, and my response was what I had already grabbed. And then I defended it because like I looked at it like, I bought this cookie dough, and when we buy cookie dough, I usually just eat it frozen or refrigerated. I don't cook it. And he likes them cooked. So like my thing was, I didn't grab these for me. Yeah. I grabbed them for we, and I was going to bake you some later and then eat my raw shit. And it was just in that moment, and I'm just like, in that moment, like, you heard me get defensive, and you got defensive too. Instead, you could have just said, babe, what did you hear? Because what you said could have triggered something in me, and, like, I just get defensive, and I'm just like, all right, we're gonna brawl. I'm gonna shut down. Let's go. And then that's the end of it. So it's like, in those moments, it's really just like, okay, what did you hear? Because you could be here and hear it, but it could take you somewhere completely back, and you've traveled, and your response is instant because your body holds it.
Yep. I do want to touch on something you said earlier in that regard, is that you said something about, I don't know if it was before we started talking, if it was on here, but you said something about like when like you're talking with Opie or like things are happening, that you're seeing yourself in her and trying to correct your childhood through her.
Yeah. We've had a couple of talks on that. So that was earlier in the podcast, but it was also on Wyatt's birthday when I was deep diving.
When
you pulled me out with that pep talk, you and your brother. God, I love you both.
When you were just moving through shit. But God, my brother, man, I'm telling you, he's just so. I say this all the time, and I'll say this publicly. He's my favorite sibling, but he's just so. He shows up in the weirdest ways. You know what I mean? Like, for the most part, he's like so secluded and so like. And I know people in my family see this as a negative thing. I don't, but he's so secluded and so like. I'll show up to like events. Yeah. But like, he's not the type of person to like message you and reach out and be like, let's hang. Yeah, like never. No. But he shows up in like the weirdest ways because for the most part, like he has like 3 topics that he will talk about at length, whether you want to hear it or not, as long as there's somebody in the room. But then for the most part, he's like very like to himself, very secluded, very like one word answer type person. But then, like, there have been so many times where, like, he'll show up in ways that are like. With that,
totally blew my mind. Like, I was like, no way.
Like with that, like we were just talking, and not that like he couldn't have interjected, but like we were just talking, just me and you. Yeah. And he just like came into the conversation, and it wasn't. He came in with an intent too, and not like a. I don't know how to. He
just showed up to the conversation with the perfect thing to say,
but showed up in an honest and loving way.
Yeah, and it was so authentic. Yeah. And it was so hilarious because I had seen him like 2 weeks before because I've been hanging out with Katie too. And like she was watching his son. And like I was hanging out there play dating with Opie, and then she was just like, yeah, this is Brandon's kid. And I was like, I knew he looked familiar. I see Brandon maybe like once a year at Wyatt's birthday. And it's just like, that kid really looks familiar. And then sure enough, Brandon showed up, and we sat there talking and catching up for like ever. And I'm just like, cool.
But
nice to see you again.
But like, that's not the first time he's done that. It's just so weird. I love it. But it's just so weird to me at the times that like he shows up in that way, because it's not. I lived my entire life with him, so I've seen like the stupid fucking rants that mean nothing. He just wants to talk because he's nervous because he's around people and he doesn't know how to react, and so he just talks and talks and talks about random shit that makes no sense. But he has these things. I there's a movie reference in my head, but I can't think of it, and I'm not going to waste time. But he just shows. Oh, Silent Bob.
Yeah.
That's my brother. Doesn't say a whole lot, but when he does,
It's epic.
it's like, yeah, it's exactly what needs to be in there. I've seen him do it so many times throughout my life. It's just so crazy that when I get to see him do it, because like I said, I've seen the in-betweens of like, it's not always nuggets like that. Like sometimes it's just rants that mean nothing.
Okay, so going back to the me seeing Opie as me in childhood.
Yeah, so this is something that,
And then we'll end.
yeah, so this is something that like I say to a lot of people when I talk about parenting, and it's one of the things that like I have to keep. Me and Cheryl have talked about this too. I have to keep in mind with the girls and with Wyatt is that we are constantly trying to fix us as a child.
Mm-hmm.
And so like there are things as a parent that you react in a certain way or you say a certain thing and it's not directed specifically to your child.
Mm-hmm.
You're just saying it because you're seeing yourself in that situation.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you know what I mean? Like, this is a stupid example, but like kind of the point. If you fell off, which I did, if you fell off the roof as a kid, you're going to see your child
Falling off the roof.
Get on something high and you're going to be like, don't do that. You're going to break your neck or whatever, because you're trying to
protect them from the harm you already had.
yourself from what happened. And the same as like with parenting styles and the same as stuff like that. Like you either see one form or another. And as parents, like I said, I don't think we do it on purpose, but as parents, we don't focus so much on our child in the moment.
Mm-hmm.
We see one way or another. Mm-hmm. We see the adult they may be, mm-hmm. or we see us as a kid. Mm-hmm. And we don't really see them now. Yeah. And so the decisions that we make are kind of vice versa. We don't want them to turn out an adult like this. And we also don't want them to come back at us when they're adults and be like, my childhood was exactly how your childhood was. Mm-hmm. And so that's what I was going to say is that like, that's I just wanted to tell you that's every parent thing that we're constantly trying to fix. We're seeing ourselves in our children. Mm-hmm. And so like to not focus so much on that. But like,
for sure. And just recognizing in that heated moment, like I keep telling myself more and more.
This is about
well, no, but it's just like I'm dysregulated right now. Mm-hmm. And that's the big thing that's triggering me most of the time. And it's just like, she's not me. And I can choose in this moment to accept my dysregulation and do something to fix that to help the situation, or I can react. And that's what's like tiptoeing right now. And I'm like working my way into the ladder of it where it's just like, okay. But like for the longest time is like, I didn't even have that moment to pause. It was just straight into the reaction of what I heard as a kid. And then and the end result is just like, well, shit. And then you sit there and you stress out or you get hella depressed about it because you showed up in that way instead of just being like, okay, let's question that. Why did I have this reaction? What was the story? Like, where am I going with it? Is that how I want to present to my kid, or is how do I want to show up differently? And that's all tools that I've learned in the last 2 years that's really helped me get to where I am now, where I'm showing up every day, modeling the behavior I want her to do. Like kind of a thing, and we're getting to that point, like you said, like where it's like you're in the right direction, so you're more chill. But for the longest time, I didn't have that, and it's like just accepting you're good parent by being. Like if you're in motion, if you're doing the actions, if you're working on it, it's gonna show up in the best ways. But if you're sitting there giving the bare minimum and then wondering why shit's fucked up all the time.
It's like I've used this reference when it comes to parenting. It's like climbing up a big mountain. It sucks. You hurt, you suck, you feel like you're not as close to the top as you think you are. You want to quit. If you stop, that's as far as it's ever going to be. If you trudge through it and make sure and like move through it and move past all those thoughts of like, my feet hurt, this sucks, am I really doing this right?
Mhm.
Am I ever going to make it to the top of this? Instead of, if you push past that, you can make it up there. And it's the same with parenting. If you aren't making the effort to move forward
and
and
if you're
to
just stuck in
change things,
the gist
and
of
you
it,
just sit there of like, this is how I am as a parent, this
and
is how
this
my kid's
sucks.
gonna, and this sucks, you're always gonna be there.
Yep.
And your kids are always gonna be there. Like I said before, with parents in previous generations, them stopping at, well, I'm better than my parents were, that you can't, in my opinion, if you're going to do that, you can't be like, oh, why did my kids grow up this way?
Mm-hmm.
You stopped here.
Yeah.
You could have kept going.
Yep.
And the same thing is that I feel like if you are trying to get better as a parent, you're already doing easily
100% better.
Yeah, 100% better than people that are just sitting there like, I'm this parent, my kids are going to grow up this way,
and this is the end. As long as there's some action of try and keep doing, like you're not stuck in the impossible or just in the giving up of it, because then you're just in survival. Then you're just surviving it. You're not even enjoying it. And I have enjoyed so much of the last 2 weeks because of the mindset I've had, and it's been beautiful. So yeah, that's my thoughts. Good talk. I like this one.
It's nice.
It is.
Hopefully I can piece it together with audio and
if you didn't fuck that up.
I don't know why it stopped.
I
That was weird. It was working.
Dude, if we miss like a whole chunk, I'm sorry, the universe just didn't want it.
It'll still pick it up on there. It'll just sound far away. But
oh, okay. Well, we'll figure it out.
Piece it together.
Yeah.
I got time.
You got time.
Thanks.
You're welcome.
Appreciate it.
It's gonna be Halloween next week, not 2 weeks ago when I said it was. So happy Halloween! Be safe and have fun and get all the trick or treating. It's gonna come out Thursday. Or are you doing it on Friday now?
Friday.
Okay. Yeah. So yeah, it'll come out on Halloween night or Halloween day. So like, get at it, people. Show us your costumes. There's a thing. If you guys
tell us what
listen to the podcast, if you're not comfortable with dropping a picture of your costume, do us a solid and type it in the comments. Let us know what you guys are or what you're doing or your theme. I have a trick-or-trunking on Wednesday and we're trick-or-treating, so I will definitely drop my costume. Yeah. I'm going to be a witch doctor.
I haven't figured it out yet.
Well, you got 5 days.
I know what
4.5. I
know what Wyatt's going to be. I kind of know what Cheryl's going to be, but I haven't decided on what I'm going to be yet.
Well,
I'll figure it out.
4.5 days.
Fine. I got plenty of costumes at home. I can always just throw something together.
Anyways,
I love you.
I love you.
Thanks for talking.
No problem. Thanks for having me. Happy YouTube, everyone.
Happy YouTube.
Like, subscribe, comment to our shit, please. Out.